Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving merge two 2D arrays by summing values. The problem states that we will be given two input arrays, and each element in the input array will have two elements. The first element will be the ID, and the second number will be the value. So we want to merge these two arrays. If the ID shows up in both arrays, then we want to add the values and merge it into one in the resulting array. If the ID is only in one of the arrays, then we just add it to the result. And we should know that each array contains unique IDs and they are sorted in ascending order by ID. So knowing this will help us a lot in how to solve the problem later, which we will get to. But anyways, let's go over this example real quick. So if you look at this example, the ID 1 is in both arrays, so we add them together, so 1 and 6. ID 2 is only in nums 1, so we just add it to the result. ID 3 is only in nums 2, so we just add it to the output. And ID 4 is in both arrays, so we need to add them together and add 4, 6 to the output. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. Yeah, so one way that we can solve this problem is we can use two pointers. So we will compare the element at each index that we are on, and if the IDs are the same, then we add them together, and if the IDs are not the same, then we will check which one has a smaller ID, and we will add that one to the resulting array and increment that index, and then we will continue comparing until one of the two indexes have reached the end. And once one index reached the end, we just add everything else from the other index to the end as well. And by the way, 1 stands for the index on nums 1 and 2 stands for the index on nums 2. So let's go over this example. So first we're at index 0, we compare them same ID, so we add them and we need to increment both indexes since they are equal. Now they are both at index 1, they are not equal, but 2 is less than 3, so we add this one and we increment 1 by 1. Now we compare 1 at 2 and 2 at index 1. They are not equal, but nums 2 has the smaller ID, so we add that one to the resulting array, and we need to increment this one as well. So now they are both at index 2. They are equal, so we need to add them, and now they have both reached the end since we increment them, and they are both the length of the array, so we can stop. So this would be our result. And the time complexity would be O of n plus m, where n is the number of elements on nums 1 and m is the number of elements on nums 2, because we need to iterate through them all. The space complexity would be O of 1, because we are not using any extra space since the resulting array does not count as extra space since that is what we are returning. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we will set the index 1 and 2 to 0 and the resulting array to an empty array. Now we look, well, 1 is less than length of nums 1 and 2 is less than the length of nums 2. Then we want to check if their index or their IDs are equal. If they are, then we add that ID to the resulting array with the value being their values added together. So nums of 1, 0, and the value would be nums of 1, 1 plus nums of 2, 1. 1. Because 1 means their value, and then we need to increment both indexes. Else, if nums of 1 has a smaller ID, then we just add nums of 1 at index 1 to the resulting array and increment index 1. And else, we just add nums of 2 and increment index 2. Now, if one of the indexes has still not finished iterating, then we need to add the rest. So if 1 has not finished, then we need to add the rest of nums of 1 at 1 and increment by 1 to the end. If 2 was not finished, then we need to add result.append nums of 2 at index 2 and increment 2 towards the end. And now we can return result. Let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Hope this was helpful. Thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave it down in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.